were talking off camera and said like you literally started out because you were in the same position where most people are right now, where you were reporting on financial I guess what's happening in Jamaica, financial happenings, and you too yourself was unfamiliar with the terms, you weren't really aware, you read and you're still kind of unsure, and that's how you begin your journey into
so I started out as a regular journalist, me dodge bullet down at Tivoli Garden,
Really?
I need to show you that clip too.
Wait,
I was down
there.
Yes, I was down there.
Really?
Yup. Oh, y'all
No,
don't
you
know.
weren't in
Y'all
Get in
don't
the
know
Car.
Kalilah Reynolds.
You weren't in Get in the Car.
I wasn't getting the car. I was the day after getting the car.
Really?
But I was literally, I'll show you the clip.
Yes,
we need to
I
play
have
the clip. Yeah, the day after. And that influenced me because I remember when I saw that in the newsroom, I was at CVM at the time, and we saw Get in the Car. And it was a laughing stock, right? And so I made a mental note that if I was in that situation during the, reporting, I would just calmly finish my sentence and wrap up and leave, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. So everybody's like, oh, you're the girl who never flinched when bullets are flying on a Tivoli. So I was known for that.
Yeah.
At the time, I wasn't married yet, so I was Kalilah Enriquez.
Oh, yeah.
And I was also known for reporting on the Spanish town Duppy. So
I think I remember that
the
too.
Duppy story, that was Spanish town. But the boy who was on the chair, and then Duppy pulled his leg and pulled the chair back. That was my story.
No, I'm remembering that, and that was viral before even viral was even a term.
It goes viral. It goes viral like at least once a year.
Yeah,
somebody just repost it and come with it again.
Is this it?
She has it on her channel, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So many things.
So I've been a journalist for a minute.
Yes.
/ video vixen.
Yes, we'll have to get into that before we go anywhere further.
I've been in this industry for a minute.
Being a video vixen, and what videos were you in?
So the only reason I brought it up is because of the location we are today, 10A West Kings House Road, and it brought back memories because we used to shoot videos here. So I'd been in a couple of videos with J. Will, hot music video director. I did not all of it, not here, but I remember coming to an audition here. It's like 10, 15 years ago, a long time ago. And so I did, some of them you might remember, some you may not. So there was one called Fresh by Flex, who was associated with Bounty Killer's crew.
We were just watching that
was an
before we
interesting
started.
one.
Yeah, we were licking the ice cream.
Interesting one. I was licking some ice cream. And I remember it was so hot, so I had to lick the ice cream quick. And they're telling me, lick the ice cream slow and sexy, but the ice cream was melting.
Wow.
So there was that. I was in Lucky Man by Courtney John. So they say she's a lucky man. Anyway.
Yeah.
King and Queen with Alison Hines and Richie Spice. Richie Spice was big at the time. A few others, some commercials as well.
So how did you get into that?
It was
I think I just showed up at an audition one day. I don't remember exactly. I think I just they had like a casting call
on the CVM, like being a reporter. Like
it was just before, yeah. So I used to work at Hype TV. I used to work at RE TV. So I was in the entertainment space at that time.
Oh, so your goal was always to be in media, like that's
right.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm originally from Belize, and I studied journalism in New York at Fordham University, and then I went back home to Belize and did journalism in Belize, like hardcore journalism, news. And then I came to Jamaica to continue my education at UWI. So I went to Carmack, did my master's. While I was doing that, I had a lot of free time on my hands because it was a part-time program, but I'm here full-time. So most of the other students had jobs.
Yeah.
So they work in the day, we go to class in the evening, 6 to 9 o'clock, 3 times a week. So I had lots of free time and I'm like, let me find some stuff to do. So that's how I ended up trying to get a job, started working at, I think RE was first and then Hype. And then in the midst of all that, I did, some video work and commercials and stuff. And then when that was, after a while, I finally got into hard news, which is what I always wanted to do.
Well, so came to Jamaica, you never have no family here. Like there's no...
Right.
So you came all by yourself?
I did.
Wow. How was that transition though?
It was interesting. It was different. I was literally telling somebody yesterday, I was telling my daughter that when I first came to Jamaica, I was under the impression that everybody could dance on their head top. Like I thought that was a normal thing. Like you go to a dance, you go to a party and all the women are just invert.
So did you start training yourself?
I still can't do it. I did try. I did practice on my bed a few times, but
Wow.
yeah,
So wait,
Got my next question would
it's
be like,
core
if you ever-
strength. It's all in the core.
yeah, if you ever try to use that in the music videos,
auditions. But wait,
I'm
what
not the
was
best
your
dancer.
So is it that the music videos that you saw from Jamaica coming to Belize at the time was all women on them head top? That was what you
Probably. For some reason, I had that impression of dancehall culture being just this raw head top dancing.
Yeah.
That's the impression I had.
And I was like, you went to school in New York. Like, why you never continue in New York? Because most people.
Because I always wanted to go back home and to give back to, Belize, work in the community. That was always my goal, to learn as much as I could in the developed nation, bring that knowledge back home to the community.
But why? So, what did you ever go back to Belize?
I did. I worked in news for a few years before I came to Jamaica.
So why you came back to Jamaica?
I ended up being the news editor. I'll tell you why. So I went back to Belize. Belize is a small country, population at the time about 300,000. And I went back to Belize with my nice degree in journalism, being one of very few people with a degree in journalism.
Wow.
At 22 years old. And within 3 months, I was promoted to news editor. And I was hosting the morning show.
Wow, so that's a major promotion, really.
I thought those things would take me like 10 years to work to get towards these goals. And I got those jobs in 3 months. And so what do you do when you max out in your career at 22? Like, what's the next thing, And so I, at the time, I'm a novice journalist. I have the education, but I'm just learning in the field. I wanted to learn more. And I knew that even though I have the book knowledge, I still need to learn. There was a lot that I wanted to learn. I knew I could learn more, but there was nobody there to teach me because I already maxed out in my career. Like, after news editor, where do you get promoted to? That's the highest position other than management. And I didn't want to be in management. After hosting the morning show, like, what else is there to do?
So how long did you host and be the editor?
So I was for about 3 years.
Okay, 3 years.
And after that, I'm like, you know what? I need a new challenge. Let's do Jamaica. Karen Mack is here. And I also knew that I didn't want to go back to New York because the things that we learned there, I found weren't really applicable to our society. So they're teaching you how to operate in newsrooms with hundreds of people. While I'm in Belize, sometimes I was the newsroom.
Wow.
There were times when it was just
small,
me.
yeah.
There's like a newsroom of about 3 people is typical. If you have five reporters in a newsroom in Belize, that's a lot. And they're teaching you like to use all this equipment that doesn't even exist. We were using cassettes at the time. You have to cue up your ads manually with your pencil.
I was just, funny. I was just about to ask you to like if the equipment that you were learning in New York, it was way advanced than
way
what you said. Yeah. So you said cassette way for. So you get
you learn how to look at you look at the cassette. And that's why you queue up your ads for the commercial break. You look at the cassette and you can see where the white part ends on the strip, and you just take the pencil and cue it up right to that spot. And that's exactly where the ad is gonna start.
I was like, most Gen Z is like, what?
Now I feel so old saying that. Like, my kids are like, cassette? What's that?
That hurts. That must hurt.
I want to circle back to the Duppy story though. And you covering that because that story was, as we say, was viral all over the place.
Viral.
Were you actually on the
Every
scene?
year it goes viral and people tag me in it and be like, that Kalilah, that's you?
Were you on the scene for real?
I was not on the scene.
Oh, okay.
So that story was sent to us by a video reporter in Spanish Town named Gio.
Okay.
I forget his full name, but I know Gio was a correspondent for CVM.
Okay.
And so sometimes we would get tapes from our correspondents in the communities like Maypen, Westmoreland, Spanish Town. Gio was our guy on the ground. And he sent in the tape, which was on mini DV tape at the time. And it got assigned to me. So I'm watching this video. I was like, this is foolishness. What is this? Like, is this real news? No way. And everybody come wrong, start watch the video. So I was showing it to like other reporters in the news. I'm like, you guys believe this? And we were there watch like all afternoon. No other news never came out. Nobody else was paying attention to their assignments because we're all watching it, rewinding it, playing it in slow motion, trying to figure out if this thing is real. So it was a lot. Even though I wasn't on the scene, just being the one who had to write that story and sift through the whole sequence of things was a lot.
So it's safe to say that you're not superstitious.
Not really, but that video, made me question something.
No, because like I was wondering, like when you get this assignment, you have to report on it and present it to the people when you yourself not really sure about it. Like what was going through your head at the time? It's like, is it, as your question is this really news? Like how you present that if you're really unsure about what you're presenting? I
decided to use the technique of asking a question.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I was like
the Tucker Carlson way.
Is this real, or is this acting by a clever boy or something like that? Mm-hmm. So that's the way I was able to get away with it.
Okay.